I wish preparing for anal were simpler. And then I found Odile, the butt plug dilator making anal sex easy. Odile is a genderless sex toy that lets you control the girth of the shaft millimeter by millimeter until you're good and ready for more. Fan whores can visit manwhorepod.com/stretch to unlock a special offer for anal sex made easy. Seriously, I'm going to buy one of these myself with my own damn money, even though they're one of my sponsors. That's how much I want this thing, and I think you want it too. Again, visit manwhorepod.com/stretch or click the link in the show notes. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by Alt Playground. APG is more than just a place to find couples to swap with. Alt Playground is a lifestyle community for all non-monogamous and sexually adventurous people to connect and share. And you know I started a profile. Join me over at altplayground.net. That's altplayground.net.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
What's up to all you man whore toilet slaves, you piss play car cucks, and all you mask motherfuckers? This is Billy Presida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Guess who is the top 10% on the OnlyFans? This soft, doughy king right here. Hey, everybody. What a week. What a month for me. Yeah, that's right. I don't know how, I don't know why. I, in fact, actually disagree with it, but someone here is doing like half decently on the Pelosi fans, on the OnlyPans, on the Lonely Mans right here. Oh, I'm feeling good, feeling sexy. Shadow banned on Twitter, though. That one's not cool. Really hoping that one's temporary. But they can't, the app, Apple Podcasts, they're not shadow banning me from your feeds right now, so here I am for you. What's up? This week on the show, I've got on fellow stand-up comedian Carolyn Busa. And I'll be sharing her with y'all in a little bit. But first, tonight, Wednesday, the day that this comes out, September 2nd, I am going to be doing a virtual debate, monogamy versus polyamory. And it is free for you to attend. I think it's at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and you go to wedeepen.com or click the link in the show notes. Use the promo code BillyGuest. Your ticket is free, and you can watch me tell all the monogamous folks that that's not a debate. It's not about which one's better. It's just making sure that everyone knows that they have other options that are all valid. But that should be interesting. Should be fun. Fellow shit kicker Brian Howie, former guest on the show, will also be on there with me on Team Monogamy. Also, to my British whores, to my London whoreheads, anyone in the UK who has access to a conservative rag called The Telegram. If you have the capability of picking me up 1 or 2 copies of Thursday's edition, gosh, I would appreciate it, because I'm going to be quoted in there on something about polyamory and Brad Pitt. And I shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com if you can get me Thursday's edition. I'll happily pay for shipping. I just would like to, have that for myself. All right. Holy shit. I know I opened with the OnlyFans, but Jesus, was it a week for people who like to get naked on the internet for money and or former Disney TV show fans, because Bella Thorne, disrupted Twitter in like a not so fun way. I'm not going to get into the theory on it. I've got someone much better than myself to share with y'all, but I'm going to catch people up to speed for those of y'all who don't know. Bella Thorne is an actress, I am told. She's someone who I knew existed, but I didn't know actually what for, and then I looked it up recently. Apparently she was on the Disney thing and some not very good movies. So Bella Thorne is a 22-year-old twat who joined OnlyFans, and that's okay. She made $1 million reportedly in her first day on OnlyFans. That's also okay. And then she sent a pay-per-view message, which is a function in OnlyFans where you can send out a message with some text in it, and then you can also attach a piece of media, and you can make that media, locked unless they pay to view, right? So Bella Thorne sent out a mass message to her shit ton of subscribers saying that she was sending out a naked photo. And it was $200 to unlock. And then people, like a lot of people, unlocked it, and it turned out that Bella Thorne was not ready to show her naked body. So she scammed a bunch of people. A lot of people freaked out. They all demanded their money back. OnlyFans freaked out because all of a sudden they have like probably tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have to refund all at one time, which then fucked over all these other people on OnlyFans, because OnlyFans then changed their policies about cashing out and how much you could actually charge for stuff. And so I read this amazing thread on Twitter. Wonderful, brilliant, just smart, succinct, and clear thread about why this was shitty for Bella to do. And that thread was done by an OnlyFans creator and musician and YouTuber, Erika Heidewald. And I've got her on here for you to explain to you why this sucks. So let's just listen to Erika Heidewald. All right, and now I'm here with OnlyFans creator and musician, YouTuber, overall internet sensation, right? Erika Heidewald. Hi.
Hi.
You had this thread. So I've introed this to let them know we're talking about the Bella Thorne stuff.
Okay.
At the request of my cousin Piper, who demanded that I talk about it this week.
All right. Go Piper.
Yeah, go Piper. And you had this thread that I saw on Twitter, which fucking perfectly, succinctly, clearly just went through all the reasons why what Bella Thorne did was terrible. And what I loved was that the very first tweet right off the gate says, this isn't about hate. We don't care that she made $1 million in a day. That has nothing to do with it. And then you just went to town. So would you care to share with us why was what Bella Thorne did so shitty?
Sure. Well, basically the real problem is that she came into OnlyFans kind of as a lark, for fun. And she really didn't do the research. She didn't talk to people. She didn't make sure that she was going to use the platform in a way that wouldn't hurt the people who built that platform and rely on it to live. And so she came in and she scammed a large amount of people by pretending to be selling a nude photo that ended up not being nude. And so a large amount of people asked for their money back, and that put OnlyFans in a bit of a financial crunch. And they also wanted to prevent that kind of massive chargeback situation from happening again. So they changed.
And what is a chargeback? What that term?
So basically, on OnlyFans, I mean, you're paying for things with your credit card, and so if you pay $200 for a private photo and then it ends up not being what it was described, you can just, it's a refund. You can just ask for your money back. And people either go through OnlyFans to ask for their money back, or some people just go through their credit card company, which is worse. That's a lot worse for everybody, because then that can basically, if a company like OnlyFans is getting a lot of chargebacks from credit card companies might not want to work with OnlyFans anymore.
Yeah, which further limits, sex workers getting paid, or, maybe OnlyFans then finds someone who will work with them, but it's a bigger cut for the processing fee. And now they've got to charge the creators a higher fee. It just kind of precipitates more problems. Did we end up getting to see like what the photo Bella ended up sending was?
I haven't seen it. Well, first of all, I guess because it would be, stolen content. And I think even though
$200 is outside my personal budget.
Yeah. No, it's funny because the BBC did an interview with me and they asked me if I'd seen it. And I said no. And I realized, it's interesting. Even though we're all really mad at Bella, people still weren't circulating the photo or anything because I think we still have respect for the fact that you don't leak people's content,
Right. And have we confirmed that OnlyFans has changed some policies, or were those rumors? What's the actual fallout right now from this?
So there is kind of a combination of definite policy changes and rumors, and why it's been hard to figure out is because OnlyFans has not announced these changes. They never sent out an email to all the creators, which they've done in the past with other changes, like when they changed the referral program a few months ago. But a big way that you can tell that something has changed is because if you go into your messages and you try to send a message for $200, you can't. Right. Originally, right after they made the changes, the max price was $50. And then after all of this backlash, they've raised it now to $100. But that's still the ceiling at this point. You can't sell anything over messages for more than $100.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that really stuck out to me about this was, one, I looked up Bella Thorne because I know that's a name, but I have no idea who she is. Mm-hmm. It's one of those. And then I was like, oh, she's one of those Disney stars gone bad.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I got to break out. She's 22 years old. And when I saw everything going down where she was like, I'm just going to join in. I want to join it to do it for this reason that totally centers me. I was like, this is peak 22-year-old bullshit. This is something someone says where they go wouldn't it be crazy if I went and did the thing? And she's famous enough that when she does the thing poorly, it affects a shit ton of people. Because if my next door neighbor tried to do this and scammed 3 people, it wouldn't have affected anybody.
Yeah, it's peak rich white girl privilege, and the complete divorce from reality that many celebrities live in, where it was a playground for her. It was a fun little thing. And she didn't actually understand it as a job or take it seriously in that way, because for her, it was all kind of, playing pretend, playing dress up, trying something out, because there's no actual stakes for her. She's not really putting, for many sex workers, they put their safety at risk. They put a lot of things at risk in this job, and she didn't have any of that. She also didn't have any financial need. She's already a millionaire, and she was just doing this for fun and extra money. Which,
in all fairness, you're welcome to do that for extra money if you want to, but to do it in this way seemed so shitty. Because the other thing in terms of stakes is she's not actually putting her pussy on the internet. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to play as you say, in this playground without, facing the backlash that people who do put their pussy on the internet do face.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't have been bothered if she got on the platform, didn't do full nudity, and didn't scam people about it, and was open about what she was offering. And especially if she had made an effort to, be in the community, advocate for other people in the community, even just subscribe to other people's OnlyFans, do some promos for people on your page. This really is a community, and it is an industry where people work together, and she had no desire to actually understand the culture of it and become part of it. It was really just coming in, and it was really, gentrifying the business. Personally, I have no problems with that. And I know that that's not like a consensus opinion among everyone. A lot of people do kind of think like, hey, sex workers built this platform. It's ours. Go away. And I understand that, but that's not personally how I feel, because I think as a creative in general, it can be really hard to make money off of your work. And people have been trying for a long time to figure out how to actually monetize their creative work. And OnlyFans is one way to do that. And I do think that creatives of all kinds should have avenues to make a living wage off of what they do. And I think that it could be good for everyone if we're promoting the idea that creative work is not free, and it is a good and reasonable thing to pay people for the work that they do and to support artists that you like. And I think there is, because obviously there's some of that, there's Patreon, and but it's still been difficult for a lot of people to actually make money off of what they do. And honestly, so like I'm a musician and an actress, and if there had been other avenues to like really make money by putting that kind of work on OnlyFans, I would have tried it. But you can't really make money really like that.
Oh, damn. There goes my idea of doing naked yoga on OnlyFans. Ah, shit.
Well, as long as it's naked, that's the key point. You can do anything as long as it's naked, and somebody will pay for it.
Are you familiar with naked bakers?
No, but the concept sounds genius immediately.
Yeah, right. Just hot chick in LA who gets her other hot chick friends and they bake and it's naked. And
no, I've been considering putting up some like videos of me DJing in like lingerie on my OnlyFans just to mix up my content a bit. Sure. I think it could be fun.
Is your content normally not nude?
So mine is kind of a mix of like lewds and nudes. I personally don't do super explicit content just because that's, I don't know, not my personal like area of interest. I tend to do more kind of like suggestive and implied stuff on my timeline, and then I'll sell more, revealing photos over messages.
Gotcha.
I think also it's an audience thing, and what your audience likes to see. And something that I have found for my audience specifically is a lot of times a picture that you can see my butt, but I have clothes on will do a lot better than one where you can straight up see my nipples. And so I give the people what they want,
Yeah, give them what they want. What would you give? What's one or two really important things that a celebrity who doesn't plan on showing their pussy or whatever, Justin Bieber not showing his dong that I know of.
Too bad. I would love if more male celebrities showed their dongs on OnlyFans.
See, now I'm just not celebrity enough to count for that. It's like if more people had the bravery of Billy, but if Billy was more famous, would he do it? I don't know.
Well, maybe you're paving the way, Maybe Justin Bieber will see it and he'll go, you know what? I can do it too.
There is some doughy comedian in a basement in Brooklyn. He's showing his dong and he hasn't been canceled. I can too. If Billy can do it, then Justin Bieber can do it.
Exactly.
But what's something really important that celebrities who are migrating to that platform, maybe to be just a little racier than they can on Instagram, what's something really important they need to know?
Well, first of all, a lot of people have been doing that who are kind of celebrities on a much lower level. So like there have been a lot of like Instagram models and YouTubers who have moved over to OnlyFans. And so that really, I mean, that's really what I did essentially too. And so it can be a lucrative part of your business, and you can still like join the community and kind of do things the right way. So like, I think anytime you're going into an industry or an environment where other people have paved the way, other people have created that industry, you shouldn't come in thinking that like you know everything and you're just going to step in and run the game. Like there are other people who have built it up, and I think it's good to just like research and listen to others and see what other people are doing. Because part of that also shows you like what are good business practices, because there are like specific business practices on OnlyFans that work and are kind of agreed upon. And so like, for example, part of that is you don't sell a $200 photo by misidentifying the contents. And that's something you should understand about the platform, like when you get on it. But also I would say probably the biggest thing that I would really urge people to do is, sure, be clear about like what content you're going to be offering, but don't act like if you aren't going nude, that makes you some higher level of content, some more acceptable or respectable version of entertainment. And don't shy away from being on a platform with sex workers. You know,
yeah, remember she was all like, no, I'm not doing nudity though. It's like, what?
Like, oh, I'm sorry. Did we like offend you somehow by assuming that maybe you would show your tits on a website dominated by people showing their tits? Like,
I thought you wanted to help normalize sex work.
Yeah.
Odd, strange.
So, because I even, just yesterday, somebody DM'd me and said that they'd wanted to start an OnlyFans, but that, you know, they felt maybe they shouldn't, or they felt weird about it because people said that some people said it was pornography. And I said, well, there really is no line about what is pornography and what isn't. But also, who cares? Like, the only reason you have a resistance to that is because you have an idea in your head that making pornography is wrong. And that maybe people who make pornography are less respectable as artists. And really, that's for you to overcome in your own mind and like stop judging people like that. Because that's why even like I can feel a little weird when like in some of these interviews people have asked me, like what kind of content I make and stuff. And I don't make that like that explicit of content, but I don't want to say that as if I'm trying to divide myself from people who do. Because also a lot of my really good friends make way more explicit content than me and make way more money. They're doing way better. And I think sometimes like, man, maybe I should do that. But I've always just sort of stuck to whatever I just really genuinely enjoy making. And I was like, I don't know, I don't have a boyfriend. You know, a lot of people are banging their boyfriend and making great videos. So who knows? Maybe if I, you know, fall in love with a sexy man with a, you know, very open idea of sexuality, then maybe I'll be making explicit videos. But yeah, so I don't shy away from, you know, the term sex worker or being identified with people who make more explicit content than I do, because I don't think that there should be that line. And so if celebrities were joining OnlyFans, I would really encourage them to stop saying stuff like, well, OnlyFans isn't for porn, it's for all creatives. You know, it's like there's a lot of trying to steer the reputation away from the sex workers who dominate the platform, because they think that having sex workers on the platform taints them and what they're doing and the reputation. Like, this is all just internalized prejudice. And I would say if you're going to get onto a platform where you have internalized prejudice against a lot of the people on that platform and who have built it, you need to work through that before you get on that platform. I mean, it would be the same as if you're coming into a culture that is not yours because you like their kind of music or something, but you have bias against the people who make that music. Well, you can't do that. Like, don't do that. And that doesn't mean, you can't. It doesn't mean like white people can't ever rap, but like you can't rap and disrespect the entire like history of hip hop, disrespect the other like better rappers than you came first, and you can't like dislike black people and not stand up for Black Lives Matter and still be a rapper.
Right. If you're gonna come into the rap game, don't be such a Karen about it.
Yes. Yeah. Karens are not welcome in the rap game or in OnlyFans.
Well, Erika, thank you for enlightening us. Where can people? Look, like I said, that was Twitter was. I mean, other people's Twitters, I'm finding out, look very different from mine because like mine is full of comedians and whores. Like those are the worlds I'm in.
Yeah.
And my fucking timeline was just full of Bella Thorne, like mostly just Bella Thorne is canceled. Fuck Bella Thorne, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
But I came across your thread. Someone must have retweeted it. And I was like, this was a calm, cohesive, and just very clear point by point explanation of like why this was not chill and how it had nothing to do with jealousy over how much money she made. Are there people who hated on her and snickered when she joined and were like, oh, she made $1 million? But like this, the reason why this is bad has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And has all to do with someone just barging in.
Blame people who did feel that way too, because like, yeah, especially when you're poor and you're struggling to make rent and then you see rich people who just want to make more and more money. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone to not be pissed about that. Like, yeah, honestly, fuck rich people. And I had some angry tweets myself right when I found out because I was really panicked about, how am I going to pay my rent this month and stuff. So like Thursday night, I just like angry tweeted. And then Friday morning, I was like, okay, I don't think everyone understands necessarily why I'm so angry. So I'm just going to explain it. But then I had no idea that so many people were going to read that.
Like I said, I think you had like the calmest, clearest explanation through the sea of anger, of understandable anger, but like it's still anger, and the anger doesn't help us explain that to people who have no idea what's going on. So
thank you.
I appreciate coming on and sharing it in your own words. And where can people go to find you and take in all your content, both lewd and otherwise?
Mm-hmm. Well, so my name is Erika Heidewald, and as long as you learn how to spell it, that can help you find me on everything, because that's my Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and my OnlyFans.
If you can't spell it, just type in Erika and then smash your keyboard and hit enter.
Yeah, we'll start with an H and then smash your keyboard, and like you'll get there. I don't know. You could probably at this point like Google Erika Ho, and like I would come up. Honestly, probably.
Well, for those who are still unsure of the spelling, it's at Erika ErikaHeidewald. Yep. Even I tripped up, and I was like, I have the letters in front of me. But thank you again, and I hope all the good things for you. And awesome. One day, maybe we'll cross paths in the sunny Los Angeles in a non-COVID world.
Yeah, in 5 to 10 years, possibly, when we're allowed out of our houses again. Kidding, it won't be that bad. It'll be 2.
All right. Well, thank you, Erika.
All right. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Erika for making time to chat with us and educate us a little bit. Shout out to my cousin Piper for not only requesting but demanding this segment to happen. This one's for you, cousin. And now let's talk about butts. Okay. I got a press release. I get press releases a lot, and I ignore most of them. And yet I saw a press release for something that made me go like, I fucking want that. I want that really badly. I got a press release for this new sex toy that is now hitting the market. It's actually doing an Indiegogo campaign, and it's called Odile. An Odile is a butt plug, genderless toy. It is an anal dilator. Now, anal dilators aren't new. Those exist. They're on the market. They've got pumps. They've got all sorts of weird, funky things. They're expensive and just confusing and and uncomfortable and all that shit. But this one, oh gosh, does it look not only fun, playful, but also comfortable. It's a very simple looking dildo-esque butt plug. It's not very thick. You insert it into your butt, and then it has this like kind of key crank at the end of it, and you just slowly turn that to your comfort level, or you have look, I'm not going to be turning it. Megan's going to be turning it, but you can have yourself or a partner turn it to your comfort level, and that shaft that is now inside you will slowly, millimeter by millimeter, expand in your asshole and help slowly stretch you out to prepare you for anal sex. And this isn't even, it's technically sponsored, but like I sought them out because I was like, I want this, and I felt like y'all would want this too. So Odile has got a very special offer for fan whores, for my Man Whore Podcast fans. Okay, it's a very special Man Whore Podcast discount. And by the way, I'm ordering this myself with my own money. That's how much I'm like enthusiastically telling you about it. Go to manwhorepod.com/stretch. Yes, because I can make the custom URLs wherever the fuck I want. So go to manwhorepod.com/stretch and get yours today. Okay, what you're doing is you are pre-ordering these, and then the Indiegogo campaign ends October 15th. That's the deadline. But your opportunity to get it for this very, very low price of $79, which ships worldwide, internationally. One more time, go to manwhorepod.com/stretch or click the link in the show notes. Pre-order yourself an Odile today. Let's cleanse the palate. Let's do something for you. Let's do the fan whore appreciation moment. Okay. This is the part of the podcast where I give some brief shout outs to members of my fan whore community on Patreon. Because if you're not, buying some cool, fun gadgets from my sponsors, the best way to support this show is by being a member on Patreon, which isn't just a place where you go to like, quote unquote, support me. You're getting access to exclusive sex positive discussion groups and community, as well as nearly 200 bonus episodes of this podcast. Just when you thought there wasn't enough whore boy in your life. Oh yeah, there's more. So right now I want to give a shout out to Bree Jade, Odessa. Jesus, I haven't been in Odessa since recording the podcast with one of my exes. You're just going to have to try to figure out who that was. But I'm glad you're a member. I'm glad somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, football, Texas, is fan whoring on this show hard. Thanks for being a member. And I want to give a shout out to Camille C. Thank you for joining up. I love the name Camille. Camille is aside from being Bill Cosby's wife's name, which is, problematic. Otherwise, very pretty, gorgeous, beautiful, slender name. I love Camille. I don't know if I would like name one of my daughters Camille, but like I would love to have a mistress named Camille. I just want to be able to say Camille in bed. Camille. I don't know. I just think it's a very sexy name. I'm sure you're a very sexy lady. And you too can be a member of any gender and still be a sexy member to me when you join up at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. And now for this week's show. Carolyn Busa. Carolyn Busa runs my sex project. I've been getting her newsletters for quite some time at this point. She's a fellow stand-up comic, fellow sex-positive individual. I'm excited to share her with y'all. This is the first ever podcast that I have done wearing a mask. This is my conversation with Carolyn Busa. The Man Whore Podcast is proud to be sponsored by altplayground.net. Woo woo! Oh yeah, I love being part of that APG family. And APG is like not just your typical swinger site, okay? This is a place to go for your next non-monogamous adventure. APG welcomes all members of the non-monogamous world, okay? Whether you're doing poly, swinging, open relationships, cucking, you name it, APG is for you. And one of their great features, which you will never see on Facebook, is called the Big Wall. Us millennials remember the Facebook wall. This is the Big Wall on APG. It's a naughty, sexy place to share some of your hottest photos and see the photos of some other adventurous people on the site. Really just perfect for all of you exhibitionist fuckheads out there, right? And it's also a perfect way to see who is active in your area and reach out to fellow lifestylers you might be interested in meeting. Come say hi at altplayground.net. That's ALT playground.net. Free porn. Okay, it's like ordering from Amazon. It's a necessary evil, but we try to refrain as much as we can. That's why I tell you to hashtag pay for at least some of your porn, and there's no better place to do that than at hotmovies.com. Yeah, they have like all the porn. Like, I know we think that some of those like free tube sites that are like super evil have all the porn, but like essentially all the porn you could really need is at hotmovies.com. They license all your favorite porn from all your favorite porn stars, all your favorite porn studios, featuring all your favorite porn categories. And Hot Movies makes it both an ethical and affordable way to hashtag pay for some of your porn. And Hot Movies, as they have been for literally years now, are offering Man Whore Podcast fans a very special offer. Use promo code MANWHORE for 20 extra minutes on top of any package you sign up for at hotmovies.com.
I'm still kind of jaded, not jaded, but what's the word? Not curious. Oh my God, what's the fucking word? Speculative?
Speculum. It rhymes with how many syllables?
Like, I don't quite trust it yet. Oh my God, what's the word? I don't know. But I'm still questionable. I'm still kind of like sarcastic when I think about those things, and they like, I don't know, this world where everything's like hacienda. I don't know. All this stuff. Like, I think there's still like a way we're not describing it that appeals to more people, because it's still all like loosey goosey.
Like play parties.
Yeah, like all that. Like I still kind of laugh it all off, a lot of it, because.
Do you go to play parties?
No. I mean,
okay.
No. But like the few things that I've been to that, like, you know, it wasn't a sex party, but it was like, hey, you know, consent, be nice.
Might take their dick out.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Someone might approach you. I don't know. They're all like weird, and like people sitting in hot tubs and just like flowery. I don't know. Just like there's always weird stuff that I'm just like, why do we have to associate like jungle vibes and like a hot tub with rose petals?
You're like, why can't we just like do the fuck part?
Yeah, like let's just like, if this is what that is, and like, why are we like doing our chakras? I don't know.
One of the first jokes I ever wrote about sex parties was the whole themes and all that stuff.
Yes.
Like, when did let's get naked and fuck each other get boring as a theme?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a great. Now Billy's got to buy a hat. That just seems dumb.
Oh my gosh, the costumes! I know. My first, again, it wasn't a sex party, but it was like one of those maybe. It was like,
what did they say? Like, is this a friend? Are you answering an ad? Like, what is it?
This was like a DJ friend, and it was he was
always a DJ friend.
Yeah, that's true. But it was like he was playing, and it was one of these like themes, like not a sex party, kind of a sex party, and it was like cat. I don't know, it was a cat theme or something. So I was like, okay, I bought cat ears. I was like, I guess.
And like you wear lingerie and be like, look, I'm a sexy
yeah.
kid. It's just Halloween all over.
I know, but like my Halloween costumes like are like Julia Child, so like, you know, not the sexy stuff, but
well, it's a good time to say I'm here with fellow comedian wearing masks, mind you, everyone. Carolyn Busa. Is it Busa?
Busa.
Busa.
Oh. It's all good, Billy.
Carolyn
Busa.
Billy fucking whatever. We were, and I didn't even realize this till recently, and you brought it up before we started. We were in an article in the goddamn New York Post together.
The world-renowned New York Post.
Oh.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you're the main photo for Funny Honeys.
That thing.
But the offensive part is like, you're not in it, you're not one of the funny honeys. Like you and Camille, because remember online they had like the comedy groupie was the headline,
Yeah.
or whatever. So like you and another very funny comic, Camille Theobald, were billed as comedy groupies. And like me, I was the least funny person in the article, and I am billed as one of the 2 comics who like get laid from comedy, which is not what this guy like.
Yeah, I really was like, this Billy guy does not sound like a cool guy.
Yeah, that one was
like they really messed us up in that.
It was all sorts of bullshit. Fellow Manowar podcast guest Harrison Greenbaum was the other comic. I mean, the guy just like misquoted the fuck out of us. Like he was trying to ask me, you know, like how often do you hook up with people? How often do you have casual sex? And I was like, I mean, it just depends. I go through wanes. I'm hornier than other times and not horny at others. And he's like, yeah, but can you give me a number? I was like, yeah, dude, sometimes I have this, sometimes I have that. He's like, yeah, but I was like, dude, I know how this works. I know you want me to give you a number because then you can quote me the number. I'm trying to tell you there is no actual number. So I was like, one time I have had as many as 5 hookup dates like in a week.
Right.
The article then goes, Billy Presido, who has 5 hookup appointments.
Oh,
weekly.
yeah, the appointments thing. Yes.
I was like,
yeah, that creeped me out. And then I like because my photo was taken in a comedy club, and the comedy club actually, it was nothing to do with the comedy club. The photographer just took the photo.
He's just hanging around because Harrison was going up. Does that stand up New York?
No, I don't. Does it even matter? What is comedy?
Well,
but like,
what is? Because Camille, she said she was at stand up New York, and she was just hanging out at the club.
Yeah,
where Harrison was doing the set, and the photographer was there to shoot Harrison for the article. Camille's just hanging around. The photographer says, "Hey, can I get a picture of you with Harrison?" Just as doesn't say what it's for.
And now they're dating.
Next thing she knows she's a comedy groupie. Yeah. Like that's how fucked up journalism can be.
That was bad. Yeah, I just had a show, and the photographer met me there, and then the club even like emailed me, and the photographer was like, "We have no association with this." I was just like, I felt so embarrassed. The whole thing was a mess. I don't know.
But do you get laid from doing comedy?
Yeah, there definitely have been partners I have had from meeting at shows, but I kind of stopped that some time ago because I don't know. They want a version of you that I am my stage person, but I'm also not, and I don't want to like have to be this like amazing horny cool person all the time.
Are you trying to say you're not an amazing horny cool
no,
person?
I super am, but
I'm very lame and dry and just
but like sometimes I just want you to like my comedy and not also want to fuck me, and I feel like that always gets mixed up sometime, and it's hard to decipher a certain point, especially as a woman, blah blah blah. So I just
do you want them to want to fuck you because you're funny?
Well, yeah, in general, like anyone, that's the goal of comedy, like right. Yes, I want everyone to feel like that. But the ones that approach me, like, I don't want you to compliment me and then ask me out. Just pick one. I don't know. It's.
Do they hear you do certain bits and they think like about sex and sex stories and then think, oh, cool, I'm going to go try to fuck her because we're going to go do that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one person told me they saw me when I was on the Field app, and they were like, oh, I saw you on Field. And then like, I was like, okay, like, what are you going to do about it? And that was it. And it was just like
an off. Fuck you now?
Yeah. Like, so it also feels really weird to talk about comedy because it feels like that was such a lifetime ago.
I haven't done it since
a live
March
show.
12th.
Yeah, same. So, who knows what post-COVID live show fucking will be like.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get laid after all this. It's without comedy.
About your appointments.
my 5 weekly hookup appointments. Ugh. But you also do something called My Sex Project?
Yeah, which I have to get better at saying the word blog, but I think it's the worst word in the world, so I hate saying it, but it's my blog.
Right, you think that's any better than podcast?
Yeah, similar. But podcast gets more respect. Like, blog was hot shit in the early 2000s. Blog, people don't respect.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I'm going to seem very sad and silly like 10 years from now doing a podcast.
Yeah. Hi, I'm a blog.
Can you please listen to my podcast? Please.
I know.
So what was My Sex Project?
Oh, so
Even though I'm on the email newsletter.
Yeah, you get the new. We're both fellow subscribers. my comedy's about sex and it's real, but it's obviously for stage. You amp it up a little. And I've always been somewhat of a writer. So I just kind of wanted to be more real in my writing, maybe less funny, more, real inner thoughts that aren't quite ready for the stage or whatever. So it was just my way of writing that all out. And I had just finished reading the Happiness Project book.
Okay.
And so I was just inspired to just kind of do something where I had to take ownership and have a routine and something to keep my creative juices going in a different way. And was hoping for, a book deal out of it, but nothing has come up. So, geez Louise.
Yeah, it does seem like if you specifically write about your sex life on a recurring basis, after a while, especially if you're a woman, they go like, "Oh, cool, you're a woman who's so brave to talk about the sex. You should write a book."
I know. I'm just waiting for it. So, still writing. We'll see.
Yeah, and was it just like sharing sex stories, or was it like just thoughts on sexuality?
Yeah, I never went into it like wanting to write about specific sexual encounters. I found myself having a lot of thoughts being like single for so long and going from not doing anything to doing a little more than usual, that like it was a fun time to learn about myself and the world. And
what did you learn?
Subscribe. No, no, just a lot about like really love. It sounds so cliche, but loving myself and just loving who I am. And like, if I can't have sex that makes me feel as good as I'm able to make myself feel, not just sexually, just, mentally and great, then I'll just keep being by myself and until that happens, if that makes sense. Like,
were you like recently, were you like newly single? Was this something
somewhat,
that spurred?
Yeah, somewhat. I was in a like long relationship before I moved to New York, and, since pretty much been single the whole time living in New York, and that wasn't the catalyst of the blog, but I had just moved on my own, I think, in that kind of, you're with your thoughts a lot. And so,
were you thinking that you were tying your self-worth to your sex life at all?
No.
Okay. Well, you said like like learn how to be cool with yourself if you're not having sex. So
yeah, okay. I don't know. Keep asking different questions. Sorry. As I told Billy before this is like my first live.
I forgot this is your first time doing a podcast. I've had a few people over who were like that. They're like, I forgot how to. Which end do I talk into?
I know this actually is my first mic I've held.
Has anyone done the joke where the mic looks like a penis yet? Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. Just going through the motions again. It is weird just being. It's weird just being physically with a person.
It's like it comes easily. Like I feel like fine. I'm not, but it is a challenge trying to be creative. So the blog, it was just like, I liked sex and I have this like, I want people to think of me as an adult, as some sort of person they can go to for advice and trustworthy. And I guess that's me. This blog is like me trying to prove that without like being a sex educator or like having a degree in this. But I'm
interesting enough. You can ask me for advice.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's interesting. I shouldn't say weird. It's like you want to be the advice friend because like I find that because I talk about sex or non-monogamy or whatever so publicly, and it's, hey, folks listening, it's fine for you. That's your job as a listener. But like friends or just not even friends, comics I kind of know will hit me up with incredibly intimate personal questions.
Yeah.
That like I didn't opt into. I was like, this just feels weird. Like, how do I get my girlfriend to like get into a threesome? I'd be like, you purposefully read and then don't respond to every message I send you asking for a spot on your show. Now I need to give you poly advice.
Yeah. It's nice. It's fun. It is funny when you do something like this and the compliments or whatever people tell you, like sometimes do get very specific, and it's still sometimes jarring to me because I don't know. Like I know that's a topic I talk about, but when you get like some random email like, really enjoying the way you talked about your set. I don't know. It's just like, oh God, like, is this what I'm doing? I don't
Have
know.
you always been comfortable talking about your sexuality, your sex life? Have you always been so comfortable with sex?
It's always been like an obsession, but I didn't know what to do with it really until like late 20s.
What'd you do for all your 20s with it?
I was in like 2 relationships that were just like fine, and I don't know, but there was just always something there that wasn't popping, and so, something finally clicked. Was my whole comedy routine about like peaking, and just something like turned on suddenly, and luckily I was able to kind of explore it a little bit and realize there's other things out there. That makes it sound, I'm not even like, you guys got some kinky shit. I'm not even that kinky.
I mean, I'm not really kinky either, other than
the 2 lubes you're sitting next to.
No. This is a
I know it's him.
This is a tick spray thing, I think. What's funny, there were 2 lubes on here, and I was like, I should like remove at least one of them for her comfort level.
No.
There's another one behind.
Oh, nice. Next to my coffee.
There's just lube all over this apartment.
It's nice. It's comfortable.
No matter where you're going to be. I want people to feel well lubricated wherever they are.
It's good.
But what have you been doing during COVID? Have you been seeing people? Are you hooking up? Are you staying alone and breaking every vibrator you can get your hands on?
Well, it's funny because I went to my parents' house for most of quarantine, and my first trip down, I forgot to pack a vibrator. So I mean, like, obviously your hands are there, but I felt like some woman whose like husband went off to war, and I was just like thinking of my vibrator, and went to the little drawer back in Brooklyn. But then I did take a trip back and get it. But I was with my parents, and it's funny you said being comfortable talking about your sex life, because my parents like get my emails, they've seen me perform live. And everyone's always like, how are you able to do that in front of them? Blah, blah, blah. And because they don't talk about, something. But then when I was like spending time with my dad, one night we watched the whole Twin Peaks series. And then one night he just put on Blue Velvet, David Lynch's Blue Velvet. Have you seen?
I haven't seen not Blue Valentine, Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet.
I have not seen.
And it's like, and he just puts it on like it's like Wheel of Fortune, just really like sit back, and it's like an aggressive, like starts like there's like rapes. It's very sexual. It's very weird, and I was just like, oh, like, it kind of clicked. I was like, oh, like I think this is why I'm so comfortable talking about this, because like my dad is comfortable in different. It was just like a weird breakthrough that I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense why I'm able to do some weird shit in front of my parents, because there's just no rules. It feels like, I don't know.
It's funny, before you were all like, I'm not that kinky, and because a lot of people, because again, I know despite all the lubes, like I'm not very kinky.
No,
either.
I know it's such a go-to like dumb thing to say to people who talk about sex.
Yeah, but it's like cause it's I think they just mean sexually open-minded or slutty or whatever.
Yeah,
but it always goes to kinky, and I go like,
right.
I'm like, the one thing I'm not into for sure is like BDSM. Like that's just like, it's never been part of my sex life, and everyone always seems to think I'm this crazy kinky guy. I'm like, no, like I'm just a giant whore. It's very different.
And you're right, and that is like my issue with like when I was learning about it, is like that is what people go to. They just think of the worst, weirdest things, and it's not even worse. They're not bad, but they just think of crazy whips, chains, which are a thing, and that's fine. But like, there's also a way of like being a whore, being just open, that is just a different way of thinking that can mean so much that I don't think people realize.
So then what kind of whore is Carolyn?
She's very playful, and she wants to, like, I want to be obsessed with the person I'm fucking, and I want them to be obsessed with me. And I feel like if you can't do that, then like that's just a waste of time. And I think a lot of us are having this sex that's just, we're kind of wasting our time a little bit.
As in, like, when you mean obsessed, do you mean like emotionally connected? Do you just mean connecting as a human?
Yeah, connecting I understand, like, you're not going to be in love or whatever with everyone, but like if you're not being appreciated in a way, I use the analogy of like when you get a latte that has like art on it in the foam. Like that little touch of getting a coffee is so much better than just like that little thing that like kind of sets it over the edge of being a pleasurable experience.
Yeah. And what does that look like for you with a sexual partner? What's the little extra decorative foam in your love life?
Talking, eye contact, what do you like, what do you not like?
I do find it fun you say contact, and
I look away.
You are a very avoidant conversationalist when it comes to the eye contact, which is fine. I just a fun observation.
I think you're the first person I've been like alone with in a room.
Just a little louder.
Oh, sorry. Billy is the first person I've been alone with in a room, which is funny, kind of. Eye contact, touching that isn't just like a finger and a vagina. It's just there's so much you can do with touch. The little bit I've explored with like dominant, submissive is just like learning ways to do that aren't what people think. Like I think people think like down on your knees, bitch, and you're a dog and master.
It's not always humiliation.
Yeah, and there's just so many things that you can do that can play with those roles and things like that. Laughing.
I mean, it's not. You seem
I'm
to be
describing.
you seem to be describing someone like one would like to date. So, do you not do much casual sex, or like,
not so much anymore? Before COVID, I had like a weekly kind of partner that, and I think a lot of this is due to the past few months of being more alone and figuring out that stuff. But, I just kind of had a sexual partner and he was very good at that. It was very kind of dominant, submissive, very, I learned a lot from him. And then when COVID hit, like he couldn't like give himself to me virtually, which sounds a weird sentence.
What do you mean give himself to you virtually?
Like I wanted to somehow figure out a way we could still have fun in this time, and he couldn't. And so like, and then just being alone, and like so now all I want is that I want that, like I'm like ready for marriage.
Yeah, you just want a connection. It's like fucking cuddle me. I'll come instantly.
Yeah, and I think before this, I was good with just getting my needs fulfilled with my friendships, with my sexual partners that were like every now and then, and now I just need the whole package. And I think there's going to be two groups of people that come out of it ready to fuck everyone, and people who might be thinking more on my end or ready to stop that kind of thing.
Yeah, something about stability. After experience the most unstable time we will ever likely face in our lifetimes. There are going to be people just like, I want to know who I'm with. I want to know who's on my team. Whether you're poly or monogamous, I feel like this emphasis on like romantic connections we're going to see flourish. But at the same time, like there's 100%, there already are, sadly, but there's going to be fucking COVID free, like there's going to be vaccine parties. There are going to be vaccine play parties.
Sure.
As soon as that becomes available. And it's going to be chaos. I mean, glorious sexual chaos in the streets.
Yeah. And I hope, my fear is that like, because this switch went off in me, like, I hope I don't look at that when that happens and like scoff my head at it. Cause
I'll just remember you were also once a chemistry curious slut
exactly.
too.
So
when did you kind of come to this realization during quarantine?
Because like I said, I was able to survive, and I don't use the word survive, but I felt fulfilled with my friendships and sexual partners. And then when they all kind of like, everyone had to scatter away into either their life and their partners, you kind of lose. I kind of lost what I was like being fulfilled by. And then I was like, shit, like, and I wasn't like lonely, but you are. And I was like, who do I have? Like, who am I like hunkering down with? I don't, and
you realize you're looking around and it's mom and dad.
Yeah. Which is, God bless. But,
but there's the idea of like, oh, what, like, was there any meaning to all that fun I was having?
Yeah.
I would say yes. I would think that, you're accumulating really fun and pleasurable experiences. But, if security, stability via another person is something you want,
Mm-hmm.
You want to know that if if a pandemic hit again, fucking please no.
Right.
But if it ever hit again, you want to kind of know that you can look next to look to your right, and you got someone there who loves you, cares about you,
Yeah.
knows where your G spot is, and is ready to
Put
fight
that
the
foam
zombies.
on my coffee.
Yeah. My girl, like she knows how to ride me, and she also knows how to use a machete.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She reminded me of that first day of quarantine. She's like, I hope you know, I do not own one right now, but I do know how to use a machete. She's
great.
a very world-traveled human, so she is.
She is
sliced
Uma
through
Thurman.
some shit. Yeah. Get yourself an Uma.
But yeah, that's how it felt, and then with my partner, like kind of being unable to be there in the new world of sexual getting off virtually, it was just like I can't look at him at the same way anymore after living through this. Like I don't think I can just go back.
Is that resentment?
I don't want to say resentment, but it's just like what it is.
You couldn't just take your dick out on a camera for me, like.
Yeah, because he was such a good partner that it was just disappointing that he couldn't bring that connection in this different way, and it would be hard for me to kind of just go back to him and act like nothing happened.
Or act like nothing happened, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
If I may offer, when this all went down, the first 5 days of quarantining at my girlfriend's place, fun, hot, fucked in the living room, did this, but not long into it, I really didn't want to much. I didn't even masturbate, I think, for at least the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, same.
It was just I was like, no, it's like I am terrified. And so that didn't make me the best sexual partner for my girlfriend, but she also understood where I was coming from. And I was always clear in saying, hey, this has nothing to do with you. This is all to do with me and how I'm living in this, horrifying world. That doesn't mean that she's still not affected by it. And so I would just propose that it's possible he might have been feeling that.
Which, yes, totally. But no, he admitted to just being someone that really needed touch.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, all right, well, dude, we're screwed. Then I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta make some efforts. I mean, it's one thing. And look, I'm not as much into I'm not always into the virtual play either. But if my partner, if you come to the table and say I need this in what we do.
Yeah.
There's a middle ground. You can make an effort to do some things. Am I into sexting all the time? Not really. My girlfriend fucking loves it. Early in the relationship, when it was still pretty fresh, I was like, look, I'm just not going to be that guy for you. And luckily, I think you have other partners who seem very capable of doing it. Now, I will indulge in that a little more. Sometimes because I'm a little more into it, and sometimes just because I know she's gonna want it. And I might actually just be on the couch watching a fucking movie, eating popcorn. But I am a writer and I can throw in some sexual commentary for you to help you along and throw in some good saved stock footage to get us through.
This is
it's about effort.
Exactly. And that's what was disappointing about it, is because he is such a good partner. What do you need? What do you want? So it was just kind of like, oh, well, okay.
Have you ventured out into in-person, not just podcasts, but sexual activity yet?
There's yes and no. Well,
I'm pretty sure it's a yes or no. I don't know if it can be both.
There's been secret COVID rendezvous, which I think we're also kind of a little nervous to talk of the judgment, because we are living in a pandemic. And I'm excited for the time when we all when the vaccine's out and we're all just talking about the times I actually did go out and fuck. I think we're gonna.
I think right now, today, we're recording in September. So September 2020, I think it is okay and safe, especially in New York City, to judgment free, get even more than just one extra sexual partner outside of your home. That's just, me, if we're going to be realistic about, if we're not going to fully lock down, then go get some D on the outside. I think that's okay and safe to say. If you were saying you were having threesomes with new people every weekend of this quarantine, then I'd call you a fucking monster.
Yeah. I'm not quite there yet in trying to, I can't go back to that mindset. And the thing is, I hate dating. And so like knowing I want this connection and hating dating and pandemic, it's just like, I'm just going to ride this out.
Do you think just some of your wires are just like, and I'm not saying this to like, you're the only one, but do you just think some of your wires right now are crisscrossed in weird ways that don't make sense? And that maybe like this thought that you want something more romantically serious might not actually be the case when there's a vaccine and things return to something that looks like normal? Do you think this might just be the result of all the things?
I think it'll go back a little bit to previous thought, but I do feel a big shift. And in the like little rendezvous I've been having during quarantine or whatever, they were special. And so there's just a hope of me finding that. This is me tiptoeing around.
Sure. And I look, you can share what you want to when you're ready. I will also give you questions that allow you to tiptoe around. The first time you met, I just first ask, had you hooked up with that person before quarantine?
No.
So forget just like with a feeling of like a new sexual partner in general, right? It's like, what was it like? Because I remember, what was it like the first time? Like you had a guy inside you during quarantine after months without even just any sexual touch.
Yeah.
What was that first secret rendezvous like?
In a car. So and that was the first two for me. So that was also, felt very, and then being like back with your parents and like having these like, oh, I want to go take a walk and that kind of stuff. And then fucking in a car. It was kind of the sick satisfaction of feeling like high school Carolyn was like finally getting her due. I don't think it was more of a like haven't gotten laid in a while feeling. It was more like I really care about this person and how exciting this first time is happening.
What about the first time he touched you? I'm not just saying like grabbed your twat.
Right.
I mean like touched you skin to skin.
We didn't for a while.
Wait, did you actually go for a walk? Was that the first one?
Yeah, there's walks.
Okay, so it's like let's go for a walk, but like the first time, again, like that skin to skin. I don't care if it's a hand on your shoulder or like his cheek on your cheek, but like I don't know. The first time someone who wasn't my girlfriend touched me, it was like, oh, like just because I was like, oh, I forgot what it was like to like be touched by something
you
new.
We like touch and then like go home and write. You're messaging each other like these love stories and paragraphs of like this one touch because that's how like great it felt, and it was just this small thing. But yeah, it did bring you back to this kind of sweet, special way of getting to know someone pretty slowly. And that was just really exciting to me because I used to write about like, hey, I want to know how you kiss. I want to know how you fuck before anything can go on because what the fuck does it matter if there's nothing there? And there's still some truth to that. But like to truly get to know someone just through words and all that first was like a new kind of thing for me and like actually like them as a person. So thank God there was some sort of connection and chemistry because I was nervous.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a bit of people who are reveling in this idea of it's forcing me to slow down, it's forcing me to talk. For me, like I used to. I mean, I took this tip from a friend of the pod and I thought it was really great. With the idea of like, don't do endless chatter when you match with someone.
Yeah, I used to be like so anti that.
Yeah, it's more like not to not talk to him, just more like let's get a date on the books and like because we are gonna fucking talk when we're in person, but that the longer you're just talking without making plans, the less likely is that you actually make plans, right? And now it's like, since you can't make the plans, or before you couldn't make the plans as simply or as easily or as quickly, you just kind of were forced to engage in these longer texting relationships. Me, I kind of opted out of that, and I was like, I wasn't swiping because I was like, I don't need to talk to someone endlessly. I've got my wonderful girlfriend here. If I want to talk to someone, she's right here.
And how long have you guys were together when this went down?
When it started, we had been together like 10 months.
Okay.
9 months,
That's
10
decent,
months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was staying with her at her place where she lived with her now ex-boyfriend, who she had been with for like 3 years. They'd lived together for like 2 years. And then I just kind of came in as like the third wheel roommate. And I think it brought us closer and made us have to,
And the talking thing, crap, I had a thought. Shit.
Just the idea, the idea that, we're forced to talk to people now because you don't know when you can make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know Andrea Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andrea's she's like, I got 6 dudes I'm talking to just to figure out who I might fuck if we both go get tests and shit.
Oh, yeah.
This prolonged, multi-month affair. At that point, if you're going to just text for months, you might as well just do written letters. And I'm not even joking. It's just at that point, enjoy the slow pace of a letter, writing a letter in the postal system.
Yeah, which I did a little of that. But I think what I was thinking of was not that I thought the world was going to end, but it did feel very, you just felt I'll just tell you anything. 'Cause I don't care. Who cares if you just start revealing more easily because you didn't know when.
I need to connect with somebody.
Yeah. And connect with someone. And also you're just does this even matter? Will I ever see this person? Because what's happening? And I felt that a little bit. There were a few people over quarantine that just out of nowhere, they just kind of confessed maybe to having a crush on me a few years ago. And there was this moment where everyone was just kind of opening up because we just thought everything was doomed and let's give our secrets away. So with talking to someone you're getting to know, it just felt easier. I didn't mind really just getting in there and giving him all the junk that you try to hide or whatever.
And so have you been meeting up somewhat regularly with this secret rendezvous? Was it a one-time thing?
Yeah, there was regularity to it. So, there's a lot to figure out. We don't live at the same location. So there's this sense of waiting and longing, and I don't know. So don't know how the cards are going to fall. So I want to be careful of how I continue on with whatever my sex life, romantic life looks like.
Careful as in with other people, or what do you mean by careful? Just
because if there's a chance in the future this person becomes my partner or whatever, then I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I hate to say holding out for someone because I hate that feels such a terrible thing to say. But there is a sense of I'm waiting for someone.
You're waiting for him.
I'm waiting for someone, and
you don't want to fool around with people in the interim.
I don't know. I don't. Which is amazing to be fulfilled by someone you're not even fucking, and that's to me. That's great.
Yeah, I mean that sounds
talk
like
to me
a
in a
really
month, but...
great friend.
Yeah, so I think I'm blushing under my mask.
Aww. Did you have a crush on this secret rendezvous person prior to quarantine?
No, this was all, and I know this all wouldn't have happened without quarantine. So it's it's
you don't have to go into the other details that I knew from before we turned on the mic.
Right.
But what? So can you just tell us more about that first time? Because if you didn't have the crush prior, right?
Well, it's the talking, it's the connecting, it's the.
But you knew this person, right?
Knew him a little bit. Just I knew that was a person.
So who asked the other one out to go for a walk first?
I think we just. We just was well, I'm going to go for a walk. And if you happen to be there, then you're there. So. And
were there already flirtatious undertones to the messages leading up to this walk?
Yeah. Very, which was fun in itself because you said your girlfriend's a big texter or sexter. And I love sexting too, but I found what's really fun was Instagram messaging using the
voice memo, voice thing.
No, the video and photos, and you can add music. And so to me, it was this whole great. You can really have an experience with sexting through Instagram.
Getting really creative with your sex.
Yeah, and to see someone match me was also exciting because I always am very disappointed with how men approach sexting.
Match on Tinder and such, you mean, or
in general, just match sexting capabilities.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, he proved himself to be capable to sext with.
Yeah.
You. Okay.
And
so there was already flirtation and kind of some light sexting leading up to this walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't. Well, you tell me. You're the one blushing under the mask. Me, I'm just curious about this secret.
That would be a good
rendezvous
blog
guy.
name, huh? Blushing under the mask.
Blushing under the mask is a great COVID love blog. Yes, I support
That'll
that
be
new
my next
creative
entry.
venture for you. Yeah. So there's a person you kind of knew. You're flirting a little bit in the DMs. Someone's like, "I'm gonna go for a walk. You want to go for a walk? Let's go for a walk." Tell us about the walk.
Well, yeah, it was this very. I felt like high school. Very like we sat outside a fucking candy store. Like it was very innocent, very teenage feeling, and it was exciting. And
What happened?
we just talked.
Well, yeah, but how do we go from talking outside a candy store to him fucking you in his car?
Because we literally just did not stop talking, and that was all there was to do. Like, yeah, I had my day job. I worked on my computer, and then my second job was fucking getting to know this person.
Who made the first? Who went to kiss who? Or did somebody verbalize and say?
There was like a few times we thought it might happen, but we were both a little nervous with COVID and all that. And then we both, after it happened, like we both confessed to like we just knew this. Like we both like brushed our teeth. Like we knew it was going to be the time it happened. It's just something you feel, I think, with people when it's like this is going to be the night something happens, right? People feel that.
Wait, so on the first time, did y'all not have sex in the car? Was that a different time?
Yeah, no.
So the first time was just talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
And so then there were just more going out for a walk until somebody finally like made a move.
Yeah, a lot of talks of wanting to make moves. Should we make moves?
And you'd be saying this in person. You would be like with each other saying like, should we make out? I don't know. Can we? Should we? Is that a good idea? Is that?
It wasn't like that at first. It was more like, let's forget that this thing we want to happen is not happening. And then let's talk about it when we're separated and not together anymore. But then we finally got to the point where we could talk and have those conversations in person. And so anywho.
How long have you been carrying on these secret rendezvous?
The sad thing is it's my fucking kind of longest running thing that's not even a real thing, which is embarrassing. It's been 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months of just going for walks, occasionally fucking in a car.
So much public sex, Billy.
Well, since both of you have to like kind of hide, because both of y'all live in places with people where like you guys can't like bring each other home to have sex, so you kind of have to. I mean,
yeah.
And also the CDC recommends it.
Sure. Do people love reminding you that throughout? Everyone loved reminding me that like masturbation was recommended by the CDC. They thought that was hilarious.
I like reminding people that glory holes are recommended by the CDC. I got one hanging right there.
A glory hole?
Yeah.
Where? Your Instagram light? Oh shit, you really do. Okay.
Reddit is a magical place. I was like here because when I looked at the apartment, I was like, I've got like 2 closets, so I was like, I could somewhere I've always wanted a glory hole. I've always wanted to do a glory hole. I was like, I think I could do a glory hole. I'm like, it's private. I have a private entrance.
Okay.
At the end of the hallway, so like I could have, brought you
Someone
in
could
without
come
going
in.
through upstairs. So I had an experience with someone on Reddit who answered an ad and said like, I would like to suck you through your glory hole. And then she came over and she like I got like a video afterwards of it. Yeah. But CDC approved, or like my first rendezvous with anyone outside of my relationship during quarantine was
CDC approved.
Outside in my she was on her knees outside of my car blowing me, and I had my mask on the entire blowjob.
Yeah, I'm so see. These are the type of things I can't wait till we're talking about like more easily, because I think so many people will probably have a story like that. Like, yeah, I was on a fucking roof with my mask, and that's how we had to do it.
Hey, we had to be safe.
Yeah.
We did all the things, just did it on the roof outside where it's safe, except we didn't do rim jobs because the CDC said analingus is risky. But like, okay.
Well, like I feel like everyone's gonna come out of this like with becoming like we're all gonna have like be sexual predators because we're all gonna like get caught, and I don't know. That was like my fear of all this was like. Can you imagine coming out of quarantine, getting, I don't know.
So are you? Is it safe to say you're not really seeking out other sexual partners while you're blushing under your mask?
Yeah, until I'm not blushing under my mask, I'm good. But it's I don't know what that timeline is going to look like, so we'll see. But I trust that it's going to be okay. Yeah. I did run into the guy that was my previous partner before all this.
The one who didn't want to, jerk off on a webcam.
Exactly. And at Trader Joe's. So then I was just like,
oh, you've got the energy and effort to come get your fucking soy whatever bullshit, but you can't just like whip it out on a camera for me.
I know. So I was like, oh, this is where we are now. Like last time I saw you, I was doing something kinky.
And what was the something kinky?
I don't remember. I mean, he had the usual.
Might be the shyest sex blogger
I know,
I've ever met.
I know, like people are like curled up in a ball. That people have said that. It's true.
What is? I mean, like truly before quarantine in a pre-COVID world, like what was your comfort level talking about sex just with people, not on a stage, not on a blog, not in some sort of performative way, not even at a party where you don't know anyone and you're just trying to make a. I just mean like
no, I am comfortable with it. I am. I'm just. It's a mixture of things now. With first podcast, this up in the air thing that I'm like a little schoolgirl about, so I just feel weird. But I am. Okay. I am comfortable.
Oh, it is okay. Hey, this show is all about is just as much about love as it is about putting genitals together. So yeah. That's fine. Like I said, I wish we could see you blushing under your mask because it's you are physically blushing.
Yeah.
That's not the way to say it. I can tell that you seem flustered with excitement over this fella. And I hope that the circumstances surrounding it, improve, that you will get to be able to enjoy that more.
Me too.
When was the last time you saw him?
Last day I left. It was like 3-4 weeks ago.
Wow.
So but it's what it is, and for now I'm totally fine. I'm still getting off. It's all good. Whatever.
It's okay. I'm still coming. Yeah. I know everyone was concerned.
Yeah. So
how do you worry that the circumstances aren't going to change and that you're not going to get to experience with him again?
I think I was, but not anymore.
It's looking in that direction.
Yeah, and like I said, the communication is just off the charts, amazing. Which is like really, I'm only with partners that communicate, but like it's like a new level of like wow, oh okay, like I think like
beyond like a new relationship energy.
Yeah, like, and I think as we get older, we just realize it's just endless learning experience, and it's just one of those where it's just like okay, now this is like prime how I want to be treated and talked to and all that, and you just keep learning. And
what'd you learn from you said in your 20s there were these 2 serious long relationships. What did you learn from those relationships that have helped get you to this point now?
Well, my first boyfriend was just there's nothing wrong with him. It was just young and he fell asleep a lot, so I learned.
First thing I learned was date dudes who don't drink decaf.
Yeah. But the second one was just, I've written a lot about him. It was very emotionally abusive. And so that's a big part of all this was like, I just felt like I wasn't able to be Carolyn. And then once I was able to be Carolyn, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm never not being Carolyn ever again. And so that kind of led to all this.
What do you mean you weren't being Carolyn?
It was more about like him and saving the relationship and kind of getting in trouble for just like being who I am, or being like, and kind of having
in trouble like with him.
Yeah,
like he'd be upset with you for doing or being what?
Because I love saying goodbye to everyone when I leave somewhere, and like I love that it's another connection. You're leaving, and he just hated it.
Being polite, how fucking dare you?
Yeah, it's just it was a part jealousy thing and all that, and then so to finally just be able to do what I want. So
how long was that relationship?
4 years, and I always say a year of bullshit, so like 5.
Wow. So, and at what point? So at what point in a relationship like that, When you say emotionally abusive, what does that mean to you? It's a newer term, I feel like, that can be a lot of things. And I think it's not that I don't like it as like having an existence. What I don't like is that by only saying someone's emotionally abusive, I have no idea what that means.
For me, it was mind games. And I didn't even know the term gaslighting until like after we were done. But gaslighting, mind games, anger. I'm kind of, I have all of our conversations because I do kind of sometimes use it as a reminder to never be like in that situation again. Just if I wasn't giving him enough attention, these conversations, he would just like resent and get mad at me for going out with friends and not being with him, and flirting, and it's not that kind of stuff. So it's just, I never want to like have to not move my body and communicate in a way that like it's gonna get in trouble for it. Yeah, controlling, and arguments that screaming in my face, so that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's definition of emotionally abusive is different, but
have you needed to go back to those texts to remind yourself?
No, there hasn't been someone where I'm like, is this similar? But it was more, I kind of just keep them. I don't know why. It's
not weird to keep the text. Yeah. It's just to say that you keep them as a reminder to yourself makes me wonder if you've had to go and use them.
That's a whole nother story. I've used them as.
I got time. It's a longer form podcast.
Okay. Well, I did use them because his current girlfriend reached out to me and wanted me to kind of give her some sort of proof of my experience with him because she was having the same experience. And so to me, that felt like full circle, like, oh, like, okay, maybe there is a reason I have all these things, because she needed to kind of use them as like to fight her battle that she was currently experiencing.
How does that feel for you to hear from another woman that he's doing that to her too?
I mean, it's good. It's nice. It's, I already like forgave myself for like thinking I did anything wrong, but it does give you that extra level of, oh, I'm not crazy. And as much as you can be happy with yourself and know you were treated poorly and it wasn't your fault, like anytime that can keep being reminded to you, like I think will always feel good to me. Like as much as you're like healed or whatever, I just think anymore, it's just always going to be like a check. I don't know. Yeah.
So that relationship seems to be learning about like Carolyn being Carolyn and being okay with being Carolyn in a relationship. And if someone's trying to make Carolyn not be Carolyn, this is a red flag and I got to get out.
Exactly.
What was the second relationship? What did we learn from that?
From the bad one?
That's the bad one?
What?
Sorry. I mean, the one we haven't talked about yet, is it? That's
well, no. The first one was just the sleep
sounds
one.
Bad already.
No, that was the first guy. Was just the guy that was sweet and he just fell asleep a lot.
Oh, the second one was the controlling one. Wait. So, was it truly just that he fell asleep a lot?
No, honestly, it was like what he was known for. Like he just would work. We were like 23, 24, and he had like a real job.
I thought the sleepy guy and the controlling
that would have been great.
Person.
A controlling sleepy boyfriend just falls asleep.
He's very controlling until about 9:30.
Yeah, that would be amazing. No, so he's just a sweet, just young, you're learning. I don't know, sweet guy. But yeah, so those are the two that stick out, and then anything else since then has been much shorter, much shorter, and those reminders are good and bad. Like sometimes I'm really sensitive to like being reminded of the past, and then it's like, okay, pull back. Like they're not that person. Let's talk about it.
How did how'd the rest of the interaction with your ex's? I hope now ex, but with this woman who reached out to you, like how did that all go down? Did you just like how did she reach out? What was the conversation like, besides her saying, hey, this is going on with me? Do you have any texts to?
Well, it's a whole, I had reached out to her previously when he was still messing with both of us. So I kind of like I kind of told that to her, and so she
came back later to be like, hey.
Yeah, so she
You were
knew
right.
he, I told her that he was cheating on her with me, and there was a whole mess. And then this was like a few years later.
How'd she accept that news?
Same, good, because she was being treated like shit, and we bonded over it. But then she went back to him, and then a few years later, then reached out with that request.
Gotcha.
So
Did she end up leaving him after that?
as far as I know, I think they're still together.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
it's fine. It's not in my life, but
It's still sad to see somebody, it's sad enough to see people do
Sure.
stuff that they shouldn't do. And I would think, I can't assume, but I would think that there'd be a feeling of when you share what happened to you and then they receive that information and then seemingly disregard it to go repeat the same behavior.
yeah. I think the time will come. I really do feel like there's a time in our lives that I'll be really good friends with this woman. I still see that happening, but it can't be while they're together. But I hope she gets out of it.
I am curious. I do need to know before we finish. Why is the handle Miss Toilet Slave?
Oh, the story is not that exciting. It was a song lyric from a Fisher Spooner song that I liked as a teenager. And I kind of thought it was sexy. I don't know. There's something sexy
some
about
people
it.
do think that a toilet slave.
Oh, you should see some of the
sexy.
DMs are like, shit on my face, queen.
Look, normally I would say that's terrible, except like you do have.
No, I know. I don't.
handle.
I'm not like, oh.
You do have the handle that would suggest you would want to shit on someone's face or have someone piss on your. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
It's a very water sport heavy
Totally.
handle to have.
But for me, it was just like a song lyric.
What's the song lyric though?
Well, the thing is, it took me some time to realize it was a song about.
Please tell me it was a song lyric and you actually misheard the lyric, but then you'd already made the handle.
No, the song is about a girl taking a shit, and I don't know, for some reason it never clicked with me until someone had to point it out to me that like, Carolyn,
This is about a girl taking a shit.
yeah, and it's still a hot song.
What do you mean? Like when he says she strains for my love, she strains so hard it plops into a toilet bowl.
Yeah, it's even more.
miss
It's even
that?
more in your face than that. It's like fingering my hole, getting into the dig.
You could hear this at 14?
Well, no, I was like, it's 17.
Okay.
But
Just sounds like a parental advisory type of song.
yeah, no, it is. But
Everyone's mad about WAP. I'd be like, be mad about this toilet slave stuff. Come on.
I don't understand why people are mad about this song. Like, I obviously that's
About
WAP.
Oh, WAP? Just because it was trending. That's
I know, but it's just like all these songs are out there. What are you talking about? There's been pussy songs for fucking ever.
Because there wasn't Twitter and, when Slob on My Knob.
Yeah, they're great
came
lyrics.
out.
It's great. It's just
Missy Elliott's biggest bops didn't come out until, they all came out well before Twitter.
yeah.
I mean, that's honestly all I think it is. I think it's just that because it was trending so highly and it gave someone to shout about.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it's just a toilet song. There's nothing. I actually like a few years back, more than that, but like changed it to Carolyn. But then I don't know something.
Carolyn Toilet Slave?
No, just my name. And then, I don't know, it just didn't sit right. I was like, oh, I am Miss Toilet Slave. I had to go back.
Hey, I can appreciate that because my first car was like a 2005, so it was like in between all the different texts. So you could customize the radio to greet you hello and then a name. And I programmed it to hello Billy for a week. I got bored of it. I changed it to hello shithead. It stayed like that for 6 years.
That's great. And it like a robot voice or just the
No,
words?
just in
Okay.
words on the little thing. And it never didn't cheer me up.
Yeah.
So
But I'm pretty sure
appreciate
that's why I am failing in my comedy career, because they're like, we can't have this one.
It's more like we can't have comedy career.
Yeah.
Well, Carolyn, thanks
Yeah.
for chatting.
I'm
with
so
me.
sorry I wasn't a slut, Billy.
Stop. No, it's fine. I just it's just more like I prepared my slut brain when I'm having the people who are, talking about lovey-dovey stuff. I prepare that brain.
Sure.
If I knew that we were gonna, have you blushing, I would have hidden all the loop.
What would you have put out instead?
Flowers, chocolates, pamphlets that remind you of the divorce rates in this country, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Carol, no, it's fine to not be slutty. I think I enjoy getting to like watch you be all flustered. Can't be weirder than the energy I brought to last week's with Jade Marcotte, where I just I got into a really big fight with my girlfriend that day. So I was just in a weird place. But she came over and we did the episode and it was just like weird. And she called it out in the middle. She's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I'd be like, look, you know what? That's my energy probably. And I apologize.
Right. That's just my natural energy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I thought you were great. And where can people find you if they want to read your less blushing sex stories, if they want to follow a toilet slave or...
Yeah, follow Atmos Toilet Slave at Twitter and Instagram. And then my blog is mysexproject.com. And yeah, that's where I write.
There's no podcast.
No podcast.
Or depressingly, web series.
I used to do web series, Sexually Speaking.
Sexually Speaking? What was Sexually Speaking?
I loved it. I really wanted it to go somewhere. It was just like a little sketch in the beginning, then an interview with like some sort of person, and then a little song. And it was a great little Sesame Street of a sex show. It was great.
Sesame Street of a sex show.
Yeah, that was my little pitch. Never went anywhere.
Well, Carolyn, thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks,
and why don't
Billy.
you say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody. All you man fuckers, man whores. How do you do it? You didn't do it today.
Oh, that's in the intro.
Oh, okay,
I'll be doing that like in about an hour.
Okay.
I gotta come up with some. Do you have any suggestions I should use?
Oh,
We can bookend it. You say them now. I'll say them later.
all you man whore toilet slaves. All you, but you use fuck, right?
I can say whatever.
All you, I don't know. That's it.
You scatological walkers. You piss play car fuckers. I don't know.
Your muff masking.
That's good. The alliteration is the key to it.
Yeah.
It's just you pick one word and then you find something else that kind of has the same letters.
Yeah, mask muffers. That's
Mask
mine.
muffers.
Yeah.
Rockin'. All right. Later. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical, paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com and use the promo code MANWHORE. That was a fun little bookend over there, you mask muff fuckers. Mask muff mask fuckers. Hey! What'd you think of this week's show? I'd love to hear from you. Send me your comments, your questions, your criticisms, your booby pictures, whatever, to manwhorepod@gmail.com. And more importantly, if you're very vocal about your feelings, shout out both of us. She's at Miss Toilet Slave, MISS Toilet Slave. I'm at the Billy Presida on the Twitter. I'm at Billy is Presida on Instagram. Share us in your Instagram story. Shoot us a tweet. Make a post on the Facebook. Have you been craving some man whore merch in your life? Would you love to have some sex positive t-shirts, panties, stickers, buttons? I got a nice bumper sticker. It says honk if you're into consent, which makes driving very confusing because you're like, either I'm driving like an asshole or this person is like so not a rapist. Get your Man Whore merch on the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page. Look, this podcast wouldn't still be where it is today, doing what it is today, without the support and love and financial compensation of my Patreon members. The community that has just risen up around this show is beautiful. It is amazing. It's astounding because it's unbelievable because a lot of the other comedian friends of mine, they don't believe it. They're like, how, with a podcast, you're doing okay in this economy? And I'm like, yeah, because I got listeners who love me and who love each other. You can't get enough of it. Become a member today for as little as $2 at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I can't wait to talk with y'all next week. Until then, wear a mask. Stay away from large crowds and Trump rallies and Biden rallies. Just no rallies, please. And then while you're mitigating all those risk factors, figure out a way to still stay slutty.